But the Detroit Lions, we're calling for playoff wins. Yesterday we had a reel about are they Super Bowl contenders? And Michael Brockers had something to say on Good Morning America or Good Morning Football, which I know you watched the clips, Benny, so I'm going to have you introduce this one.
Yeah, it was Kirby Joseph obviously joined Good Morning Football, and he talked to them, and he was talking about different things, and Michael Brockers is on the set as well. And Michael Brockers was asked by Devin McCourty or Jason McCourty, I'm not sure who it was. You know, they look kind of similar. But
all black people look the same to you, huh? I'm just kidding.
He asked Michael Brockers what the Lions need to do to win the North, to be kings of the North. And Michael Brockers responded, they need to stay humble and stay hungry. Focus on what you can control. Because he talked about, like, once you start hearing your name in national media, once you start hearing people talking about you, oh, you're supposed to be good, it might go to your head a little bit, and you might not play with that same urgency, play with that same dog mentality. He talked about how last year, at the end of the year, they were just taking it one game at a time, going out there and doing their thing, and it obviously worked out very well for the Detroit Lions at the end of the year. I like it. I agree with it. The Lions can't let this outside influence get to them, and I don't think it will. I think with the coaches they have in place, with guys who have been there before, guys who have been on teams that had legitimate expectations before, they will teach these guys how to handle this newfound expectations, this newfound, I can't think of another word, but the outside influence is coming into them. They hear this. They hear us saying that they should win the North and win a playoff game. They hear Mina Kimes and Dan Orlovsky and all of these people talking about, yeah, the Lions are going to be good. The Lions are going to win the North. And you can't let that affect how you go after a game, how you go into game-to-game basis. You still need to have that underdog mentality because, as Michael Brocker said, you haven't won anything yet. So you can't go into the season being like, yeah, we got the North. No, you have to go take it. You have to go take this from other teams. You have to go punch teams in the mouth like you did at the end of the season. You have to still be that 1-6 team trying to climb out of the depths of the NFL. You have to go out there and give them everything they have. Be like, oh shit, it's the Lions. Yeah, it's the Lions coming in, and we're going to kick you in the mouth. And we're going to play hard-nosed football. We're not worried about what these people are saying about us. We need to go out there and take this from you. We need to go out there and take these wins from you. Take this NFC North from you. Take a playoff win from you. Because, yeah, those are my expectations, is the NFC North Championship and a playoff game. But it doesn't just happen. It's not just given to you just because you've improved. You need to go out there and take it. Pause.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
I mean, that's big facts, big things. There's a couple ways to look at this. I'm going to deflate at the end of it, but I'll start with the juicy stuff. This is very concerned that you had yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like that we had when they came along with the villain kind. I had, at least. I don't know. I can't speak for you, but when they came along with the villain thing, I was like, whoa, like kind of still just flip the gun.
Jump the gun there.
Yeah, we're still kind of the sweethearts. We're still kind of like the darlings right now. Like, you're jumping the gun and going villain. Now, I don't know. He said, that's for the pro scouts and personnel and all those guys like that, which clearly they played that out through best pro scouts. They grabbed David Montgomery, let go Jamal Williams, and so forth, so on and so forth. But, Chris, your seat just dropped?
Yeah, I did that intentionally.
Oh, okay. That was fucking hilarious. I thought it wasn't intentionally.
Oh, you just see me shrink, and you were like, what happened?
It's easier just to talk to you when I do this, but I guess I should just be looking at the camera. But
it kind of does look like you're looking at me and the camera.
Okay, cool. That's the intentions. This is me looking at the camera. This is me looking at Chris. Does it look different?
Yeah.
Slightly. Yeah, it does.
Come on, we need you here. We need you here.
Yeah, but you're talking about something totally different, man. Anyway, at least Chris is part of the show. There's context with it.
Detroit Sports are part of the show.
But they didn't know. You just said, oh, whoa.
Said he got hit in the balls by foul, too.
They know who we talking about. Anyway, back to the lecture at hand. You do have to stay humble. But that's something this Detroit Lions team, these young guys that are all still on this team right now, the beauty of having a young football team like this, they got humbled in Carolina with the hype. Because I get it. The media hype is happening, but that's the same thing they saw this season. They became these darlings during this season, during that winning stretch, and then they got smacked by Carolina. Embarrassingly smacked. Because not just did they get smacked, they got smacked by a team that shouldn't have been smacking them around. Mm-hmm. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Carolina had no business. Carolina's ahead of them in the draft this year because they were a worse team than the Detroit Lions. And they got caught sleeping. This team, again, everyone that's still on the team right now, outside of Jamal Williams and Deshaun Elliott, for the core base of this football team was all there to experience that. So I think they're well aware of that. And just like you said, too, the leaders that they bring in this locker room, the type of intensity that they lead with, because they've been a part of winning locker rooms. Like this, they're the leaders by naturally being the veterans.
Yeah.
Albeit 25 years old. That's another piece you love about this football team.
Those are your veterans.
But they're coming from intense situations. They're coming from situations with hype.
Yeah.
You know, CJGJ coming off a Super Bowl run with the Philadelphia Eagles where they had hype on them the entire season. He had hype on him when he got traded to that team. Like, oh, this team just added CJGJ. And he performed.
Yes.
He's leading by that example. And that's, you know, they're good. And that's why we're so confident to speak on this team. We know these things. But he's not wrong. That's absolutely something
He was in
need
that
to be
locker
aware
room
of.
too.
Yeah, and he was in that locker room too.
Yeah.
And they got humble. But they came back. They came back stronger than ever when they smacked the shit out of the Chicago Bears. The Bears got the – that's the best thing about getting your ass whooped. You know, the very next week your team's like going for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you have a Matt Patricia team, then you guys are getting fucking smacked every single week. But then that carried on then again to the Green Bay game. And that's a game where everything was on the line, at least for Green Bay. They were playing their hearts out, and the Detroit Lions still capitalized, took advantage of that. Part of that was Kirby Joseph, too, which we got coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got some, because Kirby Joseph was on Good Morning Football when he said this, but it's true, man. And Michael Brockers knows this from his run in with the Rams. Like, you have realistic expectations going into this season if you're the Detroit Lions. You have the expectations to win an NFC North. The NFC North is very obtainable. And the Detroit Lions are bringing back, I think Jeff said it today, one of the most complete roster in the division from top to bottom. So you should go out there and do it. You were 5-1 in this division last year. And the one loss was on some fluke shit to the Vikings. So I think this is a good message by Michael Brockers, that you can't let this stuff get to your head. You still got to be that underdog, you know, biting kneecaps mentality that this team had and embraced last year, especially in the second half, and you showed the success out of it because of that mentality. But again, Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell, Calvin Shepard, Ben Johnson, now Dre Bly, you know, these guys are not going to let them get big heads about this. These guys are not going to let them focus on what's happening on the outside, what the outside world is saying to them about them.
Yeah.
They're going to focus on next week. They're going to focus on the enemy in front of them and attack that enemy with everything they have. So I'm not worried about them getting big heads about it, because this is still a very young team. They really haven't proven anything yet. They showed that they could beat people, but they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't win the division. They didn't go out there and have a bunch of Pro Bowlers, except for alternates, all-pro guys, stuff like that. They still have a lot to prove. And, yeah, there are expectations, but you need to show the football world that those expectations are based in reality.
Yeah. What up, JB?
Oh, we got a call whenever you guys want to take them.
Okay. We got to go to break soon. I was going to say one more thing about this. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. Oh, I was going to say whether it's by luck or brilliantly designed, but you also got to think, too, a lot of the veterans on this team, one-year deals, which is going to keep them hungry as well. And we talked about it with Josh Jacobs. We talked about it with Deron Payne. We were talking about, hopefully this year, was going to be a conversation about DeAndre Swift. And even Jamal Williams, you saw.
Yeah.
You know, those contract years, dude's seen the ball. We got a couple of vets on here in contract years, including Jeff Okudah, who's back there. CJ
Why'd you say it
GJ.
like that?
What?
Now, that was inflection in tone.
No.
Now that was interesting.
Back there. That
Was
was
it?
interesting.
I was really just reading his name.